Hi, welcome to the first video on the Benny's Battlecast channel. I'm Benny, and in this video I'm going to tell you a bit about myself and what you can expect from this channel. And while we do that, we're going to play some Undisputed. So let's get into it. So in terms of what you can expect to see from this channel, I'm going to be uploading combat sports related videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. And then occasionally on Saturdays I'll be doing live stream fight watch alongs. So this will be good if you don't have the pay-per-view for the night, or you're watching the fight on your own and you want to hear someone else's voice, as if you're talking to someone at the bar while watching the fights. I'll be here, you'll be able to put my stream on, and I'll be doing live commentaries, and that'll be a lot of fun. I'll be doing one for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, John Jones versus Stipe the day after. I'll be doing one on the Thursday for the Misfits Boxing Supercard in Qatar, and then we'll see what happens after that, and if there's any more in between or afterwards, then I'll consider doing them if they get some interest from you guys. And that's really what I want to do. I want to build a little community. I want to have a little group that we can have to discuss combat sports, whether it's boxing, MMA, karate combat, bare knuckle, the crossover boxing scene. It could be anything. If you guys like it, then I'll look into it, I'll talk about it, I'll give my take, and we'll have some fun. In terms of my interest in combat sports, I really got in through boxing, man. I started boxing a few years ago, and I've been doing it on and off ever since. I had my first amateur bout last year, and ever since that I've been busy with school stuff, studying, so I've not had time to properly commit myself to training, which is something that I'm hoping to do while I'm at university. Yeah, let's talk about fighters. I'm a big fan of... Oh, okay. Sit down, Wilder. Right, I'm a big fan of Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and those two are legends of their own right. And it'll be really interesting to see how Fury comes back from a loss. AJ too. I know we've seen AJ lose a few times, but we've not seen him lose as badly as we did at Wembley just a couple months ago. What was it, a couple months ago? No, it was just 1 month ago. I was at that AJ fight, and I just remember being in the audience, my jaw on the floor, because I was fully on the AJ train. I was expecting him to wipe through Dubois and become 3-time, but it wasn't meant to be that night, and it'll be interesting to see what he does next. I can imagine he's just going to go for the big money fights, and at this point I don't blame him. He's late in his career. It's not looking like he's going to have much of a chance at a world title again, and you know, fair play to him. He's done a lot in his career, and he's brought home a ton of money, I imagine, as well. And in terms of Fury, if he wins against Usyk, surely the next step would be to unify, fight Dubois, and then get out of there. Oh. Okay, hold on. Oh no. Oh, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Other fighters, and I'm just talking about heavyweights, right? But Fabio Wardley is an absolute legend. Like, that knockout of Fraser Clarke was absolutely insane. It was scary. I was watching that fight with my dad, and he was just watching the Fraser Clarke. He's in a bad way, and he was asking me the day after and the day after that just to keep him updated if Fraser Clarke was okay. But I love Fabio Wardley, man. He's retweeted a couple of my tweets a few times. I was at his fight. I was at the first Wardley versus Clarke fight at the O2, and it was an absolute slugfest. I love that fight. And it was such a good atmosphere as well. and it was my first time watching a show at the O2, and it did not disappoint. It was a good card as well. Ben Whittaker, Callum Simpson, Vidal Riley as well, another one of my favourite fighters. I believe Vidal Riley is going to be a world champion one day. If Vidal Riley gets on one of those Riyadh season cards and puts in a good show, I think that'll up his stock tenfold. I think he'll really be in a good place to up the levels. Yeah, actually, get Riley versus Chamberlain on a Riyadh season card. That'd be great. And then the winner of that can maybe shoot for European level, world level. Because let's say Vidal Riley wins, then he could fight Jack Massey, who beat Chamberlain. And then if Chamberlain wins, then he can have another crack at Jack Massey, and then whoever beats Jack Massey after that can try and have a go at Opataya, who recently beat Jack Massey on the Artur Beterbiev undercard. And I know it wasn't a really close fight, but if one of those two beats Jack Massey in good fashion, I think they could have a really good shout for Opataya and becoming a world level fighter. Oh, Wilder's rocked? Okay, never mind. As well, there's been rumours about Canelo coming to the UK and fighting Eubank Jr. I don't see that happening, but wow, if it did, I would definitely try and be there, because Canelo is such a legend, a pound for pound great. If he comes to the UK, then you gotta be there. You know, anyone who likes boxing would go to that Canelo fight, and I like me some boxing. But on that as well, I like myself a bit of MMA as well. I like watching the UFC. Max Holloway the other day, I was gutted, man, because I'm a big fan of Max Holloway. I loved that buzzer beater KO of Justin Gaethje. Amazing KO of the Korean Zombie just before that, and to see him get flatlined for the first time, it was scary. It was like, yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, you've never seen this before. And with someone like Max Holloway, you don't really imagine them being someone who gets put down like that. We'd never really seen him dropped that badly, and to see him just get destroyed, it shows Ilia Topuria is something else. And to beat two of the all-time featherweight greats back to back, it shows he is as legit as it gets. Another legit fighter in the UFC right now who's just carrying the show is Alex Pereira. Like, to save the UFC at short notice twice, to headline UFC 300, 303, 307, that's against really credible opponents as well. That's impressive. I think the move to light heavyweight was definitely a good decision and the best direction to go. If I were him, right, I'd be watching the heavyweight division very closely, because if John Jones wins and then he fights Aspinall, I think if I were Alex Pereira, I'd be wanting not the winner of that immediately, right? Because you kind of got to prove yourself when you move up to a new weight division. But I'd say like fight someone good in the heavyweight division, like top 10, and then try and sneak your way in for a title shot. Because if you become 3-weight champion, that's absolutely insane. And I don't believe it's something that's happened before. I don't think there's been a 3-weight world champion in the UFC. Correct me if I'm wrong. Imagine the pay-per-view that Aspinall versus Pereira would do, Jones versus Pereira. Although I don't think that'd happen. I feel like Aspinall will absolutely decapitate John Jones and then he'll retire. Oh, okay. That was a bad knockdown. Let's get up. it is more difficult than you might think to talk while playing a game. So things like this will happen, but I'll only get better. Oh, so as I said, we will be doing a stream for the Misfits Supercard in Qatar on the 28th, Thursday the 28th. You know, the way I got into watching boxing the first time was KSI versus Logan Paul 1, and you know, a lot of people will turn their heads and say it's not real boxing, it's very gimmicky. And you know what, it is very gimmicky sometimes, and when it's bad, it can be really cringe, or it can be, as I was saying, when it's bad, it can be, you know, very cringe, kind of like turn your head away, watching a car crash, you know, people like Chase Seymour kind of flinging his arms around. But when it's good, it's really good, and this Gibb versus Slim fight is one that these people have been waiting a very long time for, including me. I've been begging for this fight to happen. I could not tell you who's gonna win that right now. I'd need to see what the vibes are on Fight Week and see who's more locked in, how they're acting towards each other, because that's how I get my little clues. So obviously, a lot of people don't think the fight build-up means much, but you can kind of see what kind of state of mind they're in, and I find it very interesting, and it builds hype as well. But you know what, I gotta lock into this fight because I'm losing badly. I saw Boxing Kingdom on Twitter saying it's a perfect time to make AJ versus Wilder, and I just don't think the hype would be there anymore, right? Because AJ's just been chinned by Dubois, and Wilder's just been chinned by Zhang. And especially for the way Wilder got put down, like during Fight Week, you saw him spinning around. It wasn't a good look. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a good time to make AJ versus Wilder, because they're both coming off losses, bad knockout losses, and their stock, both of them, their stock is just down right now. So I imagine it won't be difficult to make the fight anymore, but I don't think the appetite is there for it anymore, because he's not the same Wilder. He's not the Wilder that we're seeing in this game with a win button. Right, there's no way I'm getting up from this. Oh well. This'll happen. With winning comes losing. But when you lose and you hit rock bottom, there's only up. And you know, in a strange way, I think this is a good way to end off the video. So thank you very much for joining me on this first video on the Benny's Battlecast channel. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe, put your notifications on, give us a like and a comment. I'll see you guys on Monday.